Welcome back to another episode of Rafting Magazine's Fit for Rafting series. I am Commodore Trevor, and today I want to talk about something I started talking about yesterday in my 444 technique video. So if you haven't checked that out, please make sure you go check that out. I'll drop a link in the description. But today's episode is going to be on lines and tunnel vision and why that happens. So before we get into it, please, as always, make sure you subscribe. Make sure if you have any questions about this video or there's anything you want to see, drop a comment. Make sure you drop a like if you find this helpful. And let's get on into it, guys. So, lines. It's kind of a bad word to me, anyway, personally. I don't like the idea of lines. And it's just too limiting. I just think it doesn't allow for the whole breadth of what you can do on the river. We talk about lines a lot, in skiing. I talk about lines, go down a certain line down the mountain. That makes sense a little bit more to me because when I ski and I ski down a mountain, I can look back up and I can see a line that my skis drew on the way down. But Whitewater's not like that. You can't look back up and be like, oh yeah, there's that line I went through the fresh powder. I mean, you could do that if you're, I don't know, throwing a raft on, say, a ski slope, but that's not what we're talking about here. So, in a rapid, you have a certain way through. Throw up a picture of a rapid here, and you can kind of check out what it looks like. You can see some different ways through it. That's all well and good, but saying that there's a line through that rapid, I feel is it just doesn't get the full breadth of what you can do on the river. So to start this out, let's talk about something I was talking about yesterday in the 444 video, and that is where the line comes from. It's my belief that the line is a projection in your mind. You start getting anxiety, you start feeling excited, you just get that fight or flight response going, and you're in it. Adrenaline starts pumping, and you get tunnel vision. What actually physiologically happens to you when you have that fight or flight response and adrenaline starts kicking in, you actually start to lose your peripheral vision. Your ability to discern what is out here is much harder. And there's some studies that I've seen talking about the difference between men and women too, and saying that women have more peripheral vision, maybe not more peripheral vision, but more ability to resolve what's in their peripheral vision than, say, men do. It's kind of the age-old, like, where's the ketchup debate in the fridge? And then, it's kind of a cliche thing, but there is some research that points to this. Men have, in general, of course, different visual acuity downrange in front of them, but less peripheral vision. Women have better peripheral vision, but their downrange visual acuity is a little different. So those sorts of things don't really matter when it comes to adrenaline and when it comes to fight or flight response. All of that peripheral vision that you would have goes away. And the difficulty is that you start to see only one way down the river. When I read a rapid, I read from the bottom up. I look at the bottom where I want to be, and then I start reading the obstacles, how to get there. That's what I do. Now, when I do that, I can tell you from, in my mind, once the adrenaline starts kicking in, and once I get that fight or flight response, I just see the end result. I see that pool where I need to end, or the exit of the rapid, or the drop that I need to go off of. This becomes dangerous, and this is something I struggled with for a long time in my boating, was that I just saw downriver. My friend Daniel shows up in a lot of our videos. He taught me a lot about seeing more of the river. There are times he would perch me on a rock, and we would be in the middle of the river. I'd be freaking out, and he looks at me and goes, "What are you doing? Is the boat going anywhere? Well, no, Daniel, the boat's not going anywhere. So what's the problem? Shouldn't be, like, nothing's going on. Just sit there. I'd sit there, calm me down. We'd sit there and look around, scout different ways we can go. And I'd say, all right, are you ready? Yeah, okay, let's go. Boom, we go. But what that taught me was, sometimes you'll look at a big class 4 rapid or a big class 5 rapid and you'll say, oh, there's the line, gotta go. And maybe you're with some buddies who kayak and they're like, yep, that's the line, let's go. It's not always the line. Also, with kayaks take a certain line, rafts don't necessarily need to take. We think about different things. Our objectives are different. Kayakers see a big sieve with water pouring over it and they freak out. Rafters, we can actually float over that sieve. I'm not advocating for that. I'm advocating that you understand what's going on. But what I'm saying is, where they look at a spot where they're going to piton and stop dead and they're going to crack their boat or, hit their bulkhead or damage some stuff, we could probably pop right over that drop and float right down. We don't think about things in the same way. Does that become the line? Maybe at that flow it works, but a lower flow, higher flow, things change. And when you're on that line, committed to going down that one route, once things change, all hell can break loose if you're not prepared to have multiple options. So I always try to advocate that you guys have multiple options, multiple things in your toolkit, multiple things to do, because one of the hallmarks of class 5 boating or class 4 boating might be people saying, I hear this a lot, people say, oh yeah, there's just a line, you got to take the line, and if you're off the line, you're totally screwed. And it's like, yeah, that's not an accurate picture of everything that's happening. What that is that's a picture of someone's perception that this is the line and this is what you have to do. A lot of times because people get excited, they get freaked out, they see that one tunnel vision thing, they see another boater run it, they run it, it worked out for both of them, and they're like, yep, that's the line, you have to do that one. They might be wrong. They might not know what they're talking about. They might be talking from a place of fear. And at that point, you need to be able to mitigate your fear. You need to be able to see those other options and not get committed to something that might potentially just be totally dangerous for you. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please drop a like. If you have questions about options versus lines, or you listen to this whole video and you're like, I don't know what you just said, man. Please drop a comment below. And we look forward to seeing you next time. So thanks so much. We'll see you downriver.